Hi everyone. A friend of mine has asked me to do a video on how I organize Kingdom Death Monster. I love this game. It's one of my favorites. It has been a little bit since I've played. It will have to come out to the table soon enough, but let's get into it. I'll show you how I organize it, what I've built for it, and what I feel like has really enhanced the experience overall. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, here's the box. It's looking a little bit dusty. Maybe I need to build a dust cover for the box. Probably won't, but before we get inside here, I want to show you a couple things that I actually keep outside the box, besides the minis, of course. There's no minis in here. But first thing is my gear book. So it's a 3-ring binder, and I've got tabbed sections for each different basically settlement location. So we've got our starting gear. I don't have each individual card sleeved. I have the sleeves for it, but I just didn't like it, and when you do sleeve it, they don't fit in here very well. So I'm opting to leave them unsleeved. But really, it's simple. And the reason that I really like this is that it's so easy to find what you're looking for. If you have all of your cards sleeved and kept just in the box the way that they were kind of designed to be kept, it's super annoying. You got to dig through the cards. They're slippery. It just doesn't work well. And this, to me, is so simple. You get in there, you find what you need, you take it out, you put it in your grid. When you're done, you put it back. So this thing for me has been phenomenal and a far improvement over keeping them individual sleeved and inside the box. Another thing that I've built are these gear grids. I made these out of wood. It took quite a while to make them, but I feel like it was ultimately very worth it. If you're familiar with the game, the sheets that come for storing your gear on your gear grid, they're like flat, thicker cardstock sheets, and they slide around, and they're really not ideal. So I built 4 of these, and I love them. All right, so there's one more thing that I'll show you after I'm done with all of this that I keep outside the box. It's kind of ridiculous. It's probably not needed, but I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. But we'll save that for the end. So let's now get inside here. All right, so on the top, above the showdown board, I keep all the auxiliary stuff. So survivor sheets, multiple different versions of survivor sheets that I've printed off from different people's PDFs that I do like better than the ones that come with it. See, these are the survivor sheets. It's just flat. So you set your gear on here, you could bump it, they'll get knocked off. It's not great, but they're not horrible. It's just having an actual grid that keeps them from moving is pretty nice. And then I have another really small 3-ring binder, which has some more tabbed interfaces, and this is what I use for storing all the different campaigns that I'm going through. So it's got the settlement record sheets and then all the character sheets inside there. So that's pretty nice. And we've got some just additional tiles from expansions and all of the different expansion books that I have, and then the actual rule book. Nothing fancy about what's on top here. Then we've got the monster controller board, and then the showdown board. And then here's where it gets a little bit more fancy. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here. But the design choice is what I felt like was important and what has helped me a lot here. And that is this box right here, which all of these can be pulled out. And all of these are made with foam core as well. But this box stores all of the cards that you will have out for sure when you're playing a game, no matter what. So basic hunt events, disorders, secret fighting arts, innovations, that sort of thing. So this is really handy. We pull that out, get all the cards out, and you're up and running pretty quickly. And then every other box that's in here with cards in them belongs to a particular query, a particular monster. And it makes it super easy. So if I want to hunt the white lion, all I have to do is pull out the white lion box and get the cards out and set them up. And it's awesome. So I really like having each of these as separate boxes. It took longer to make. It was definitely more effort, but I feel like in the end it was worth it. Another benefit too of having all these boxes is that, and they're all the same exact height. I actually cut them on a table saw so that they would match, but when the showdown board is sitting on top, it rests really nicely and really evenly too. So a couple other things in here though that are not boxes for the cards is this one here, and this one stores all of the bigger tile, or the bigger terrain tiles. It stores the hunt events, the settlement location cards, monster controller. This is a little thing. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but this thing, you can rotate the dice around to show the monster's movement and the monster's toughness. So it's just, I mean, a little thing I built for fun. Okay, there's that, and then I've got the box that stores all of the different terrain tiles. So this was kind of funky and kind of fun to build for all the different pieces. I had it kind of set up really well, and then I acquired some more expansions, and it's not quite the same setup as I had, but it still works quite well. So you can pull that out and set it on the table for easy access. All right, and then this is another little deal I made. So this is for storing the monster temporary tokens that will increase his accuracy or decrease their accuracy, whatever it is. And this just, well, I don't know what the video can see, but on the table it sets kind of lean back like that. So that's been kind of nice. And then this one, I'm really kind of proud of how it turned out. I built a cover for it just in case. That fits pretty snug, but this is all built with wood on this one. But this stores all of the tokens. So all the different attributes, all the different colored tokens, the reroll tokens, endeavor tokens, here's the bleeding tokens, and then all of the dice. So this is great because the box insert has spaces for most of these. It doesn't individualize some of these to keep them easier organized, but you gotta, it sits in the actual huge box. And with this, you can pull it out, set it on the table, pass it around if somebody needs something. It's just really, really handy. So that has been awesome. And so this is all managed to fit in here really well. I mean, really, there's only a small, maybe 3" by 3" spot that's not being taken up. And I currently have the Dung Beetle Knight, the Gorm, Spitacles, the Dragon King expansion, Sunstalker, Flower Knight, Lion God, and other more. I think that might be it. So I've got a number of expansions fitting quite well in here. As soon as I get more, which will eventually be coming, hopefully, this will get a little bit more complicated. But I've been very happy with this setup, and I haven't seen anything quite like it. But I highly recommend it. It's been great. Let's see, am I missing anything? Nope. So with that, let me show you what I built for the settlement. So I recognize that this is a little overkill, but it has been really helpful. in Kingdom Death, you've got 3 different phases. You've got the hunt phase, the showdown phase, and then the settlement phase. And, well, the hunt phase isn't too bad, but the showdown phase, it's got the huge board, and then you got all your survivor stuff. And then the hunt phase, especially as you get further into the game, you've got more and more settlement locations that you're having to pull out. You've got a whole bunch of innovations. It takes up so much table space that I decided that I wanted to try to go more vertical instead of taking up more on the table. So I had some scrap wood laying around from IKEA, and so this was built with all that. And right here and here, the tile that explains the settlement location steps, I put right here. The settlement event cards go right here. Innovations all go along here. As you get further in the game, they actually end up taking up more space. I was thinking about maybe building a little temporary little thing that I could set on here to provide 2 rows of innovations here. And then the rest are for settlement event locations. Not settlement event, settlement location cards. So, yeah, I mean, it looks a little ridiculous, but instead of taking up, this much space laid flat, it takes up not much at all. And you can scoot this right to the end of the table, whatever it is, and I still have 85-90% of the table left to plant. So that has been really nice, and we've really enjoyed it. Also, too, this was an upgrade after I built it. There's a line of caulk that goes in between or at the connection point here so that the cards don't kind of slip down, and so I recommend doing that if you're going to build something like this. But there it is. That is the organization that I have for Kingdom Death. It's been very helpful. It makes teardown setup a lot more enjoyable, and overall table space management has been really helpful as well. So if you have any questions at all, I'd be happy to answer. I don't know that I'm going to list out all the dimensions of all the boxes that I've got, but I'm willing to give you some if you're interested, maybe the height of the boxes or something. But just let me know. If I can provide it, I'll give it to you. But hopefully that was helpful, and until next time.